What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Neighborhood Podcast. I'm one of the hosts. My name is Kyle Dabro, and in today's segment, we're going to go over one of the Thanksgiving games. We're going to focus on the Bills and Lions game that's going to take place on Thursday, just to give you guys a quick recap of where both teams stand. The Bills are coming off of a solid win against the Browns, winning by the score of 31-23 in Week 11. And then to kick it over to the Lions won against the Giants by the score of 31-18. And the Lions are actually on a little bit of a hot streak. They've won their last 3 games, which is actually one of the largest winning streaks, if not the largest winning streak, compared to any other NFC team in the conference right now. So, Kevin, to kick this one to you, we got the Bills and the Lions going at it on Thanksgiving Day. Who do you think is going to come out on top and why?
I will be transparent, like I've been saying to Kyle since yesterday. Guys, it's Monday, so we're recording early to get ahead of the Thanksgiving craziness. I have this weird feeling in my stomach, right? Like this weird gut feeling that's saying, don't sleep on Detroit, right? Something is telling me to pick them, but it's like a small percentage of me, nothing that's like overly bearing, like I want to bet on it. I know that the Bills are a better team. I know that the Lions are on a bit of a hot streak, but I have more faith in Josh Allen than I do Jared Goff. Now I know that the Bills have been playing pretty poorly over the course of the last month in terms of struggling and then losing back-to-back games and then almost losing to Cleveland because Jacoby Brissett tried to come back in that second half and he had over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. So that Bills defense does look beatable at this point, especially over the course of the last couple of weeks. But when you look at the construction of each roster, you look at the construction of each coaching staff, it's clear in a way that the Bills are a better team. It's clear in a way that the Bills have a better offense. It's clear in a way that the Bills have a better defense. And I'm going to pick the Bills as a safety pick. But again, something in my gut is telling me Detroit could make this competitive. Detroit is at home. Detroit is on a 3-game win streak. For whatever reason, Dan Campbell has these boys motivated, hyped, fired up, and they are finding ways to get wins done. Jamal Williams has been playing well. Jared Goff has been playing decent at best. Nothing that he has to throw for 400 yards like he used to in St. Louis, or should I say in LA. And they're just relying kind of like on an entire team basis. We all know that the Lions defense isn't exactly something to be impressed with, but they forced 3 turnovers yesterday against the Giants. So that is something to be noted. I don't know if they're having a late season turnaround. I don't know if they're just trying to fight for their head coach's job because we know that Dan Campbell's been on the hot seat since the beginning of the season. And, I'm not trying to take away from the Bills at all. It's just, I think the Lions deserve to be given a little bit of credit. But if this game were to get blown out in terms of the Bills go and pop off for 40 points, it's not going to be a surprise. We know that Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Dawson Knox, Devin Singletary have the capability to blow a game wide open. It's just, again, more of a personal pick for me. So I'm going to go with the Bills by 10 points. But again, I will prevy out here and put it into the universe. If Detroit were to come out of nowhere with the upset, that would not be a shock to me. I don't know why. I'm just going to say I confidently picked the Bills, but I'm just keeping my eye out for Detroit to pull off an upset on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, when it comes to me, Kev, I think this one's a little bit more clear and concise for me. I'm going to go with the Bills in this one simply just because I have more faith in Josh Allen to be able to put up points on the board compared to Jared Goff. And it's not to say that Jared Goff is like a trash quarterback. It's just that despite all the injuries that the Bills defense have on that side of the ball, I still just believe that that unit is going to give that Lions offense a little bit more of an uphill battle than I think the Lions are going to be able to overcome. I just don't see the Lions being able to put up enough points against that Bills defense, despite all the injuries that the Bills defense has. And when I look at Josh Allen and that Bills offense, they were able to at least stabilize themselves from the last couple of weeks. I mean, they had that really embarrassing loss against the Jets on the road 2 weeks ago, and then they blow a 27-10 lead against the Vikings, end up losing that game in overtime, and at least that Bills offense was able to put up 31 points on the board, and Josh Allen didn't turn the ball over. So at least that's a step in the right direction. And going up against this Lions defense, I think that Josh Allen is definitely going to have an awesome day against them. Just because when you look at it statistically, the Lions are the worst defense as far as giving up points are compared to any other team in the NFL. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills, despite only playing on 3-4 days rest, that they could walk into Detroit and put up 30 to 35 points, similar to what they did against the Browns this past weekend. And to me, I think this is a big point of emphasis when it comes to the Bills, and I'm actually glad that we're seeing this from them, is that they're running the ball more times with Devin Singletary, just because they actually have some decent running backs to work with here. And hopefully that they just continue to run the ball more effectively with their running back core and not put much pressure on Josh Allen's back compared to what they've been putting him through the last, well, I would say this season in particular, but they've been kind of doing that with him the last couple of years. And if they're able to create a more well balanced attack as an overall offensive unit, I think this is going to serve them well when we go into the last week into November, all of December, and then early January. So I think the Bills may find a pretty solid formula to work with here if they're able to establish that run game against the Lions. And I do think that they will be able to do that. So overall, I think it's going to be a well balanced attack from the Bills in this one. I think they're going to be able to score points simply just because I don't think that that Lions defense is going to be able to step up to the challenge and slow down that Bills offense. When it comes to the Lions, though, Kev, just to kind of like hone in on one of the points that you were making, if the Lions were able to win this game, I think it would be simply just Jamal Williams crushing it on the ground. And Jamal Williams has been very solid in scoring touchdowns this year. I believe he leads the league in rushing touchdowns this year with 12 total touchdowns, which is very solid for him. He just came off of a 3 touchdown performance against the Giants this past weekend. And if the Lions are smart, they feed him the rock. They also got DeAndre Swift back into the fold for the running back core. So it does seem like they have a really solid running back combo with both Williams and Swift back there. And if they're able to chew up some clock and own that time of possession, that could definitely bode well for the Lions as a whole. But if they turn the ball over, if they allow sacks, if they allow the Bills to create pressure consistently against Jared Goff, it's going to set that Lions team behind. And I don't think they're going to be able to dig themselves out of a hole when you're going up against one of the best quarterbacks in the league with Josh Allen on the other side of the field. So overall, I got the Bills winning this one fairly comfortably. I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout by like 3 or 4 touchdowns, but I think when it's all said and done, I got the Bills winning this one by about 10, 14 points. I think when it's all said and done, the score is going to be somewhere around, I'm going to say 31-17. I think the Bills are just too high powered of an offense to go up against for that Lions defense. And I think the Bills would start to kind of regather themselves, recompose themselves as we kind of head into the last week of November going into December. But in this Thanksgiving game, I got the Bills all day in this one.